One of the things I love about the woods in New England are the stone walls. And I'll turn around and show you. Like, whoop, back there. It's hard to see. But at one point, first of all, these trees weren't here. Before that, the trees were here. Okay, so this is a long story. The trees got cut down by the colonizers, who then built some amazing stone walls, which they're back there, are crumbling. They're not crumbling, but they're kind of falling down. And they used to be a really important part of their business, their lives, their daily lives. And they were property boundaries. They kept the cows in certain areas where they wanted them and not into the wrong places. And I find it so interesting. Today it just occurred to me, like, because I keep pondering what's happening in this world, what's happening in our world, why is this so fucked up, and what can we do about it? And the guidance that I keep getting is to, like, some people might call it stay in your lane. I want to do the fed up mama thing with everybody sit down now, and I told you to behave. But instead, what I'm guided to do is help people heal their spirits. I'm walking through a tricky area here, both in actual steps, physical steps, and with the video. So what I do is help people to recover from trauma, whether it was in this life or another life, and regain their strength, learn how to do these techniques for themselves, so that you're approaching your well-being holistically, your whole being, body, mind, and spirit, everything. And then so that you can do whatever your mission is. So that's what I'm here for. The longer part of this video is that I guess, our systems, our structures, our walls, our borders, will eventually, if not really soon, be insubstantial or broken down, or things are shifting now. It's a process. It's not gonna stop. And it's not gonna stop until some point at which, like, I personally have no control over. The only thing that I can do to help with all of that is to help you guys. So thankfully, that's something I love doing. No, it's not easy. Yes, it did take me decades to come to a point where I learned enough and I understand enough so that I know how to handle it, because there's a lot of difficulty involved with it, a lot of pain, helping you to handle your pain. And it hurts my heart that anybody's gone through anything terrible. That's just how I feel about it. It's like just except maybe the bad people. My opinion is changing. My opinion is I've been way too forgiving in my life, and it's very possible that you were too. Or maybe you still are. These are characteristic traits that are built into us, and they're good. They're very good. They're part of being a good person. They're part of being an empath, that you are forgiving. Not the two part, not the too forgiving part, but being forgiving and understanding, that somebody's going through something terrible, and maybe that's why they're, we'll just put it nicely, misbehaving. But you know as well as I do that when somebody consistently harms you, it's not an accident, and they're choosing to do it. And then the big question becomes, what are you willing to do to take care of yourself? It's hard, it's painful, it's sad, it's very sad, and you may feel a lot of grief, but at some point you'll have to draw a line, put up a wall, make a boundary with this person or these people, and that will mean that your entire life will change. And sometimes we avoid that because we don't want to lose everything. We don't want to lose, family, community, friends. You may have thought at the beginning of a partner relationship that you really found somebody awesome, and you let your guard down because you're so excited. And that's totally normal and good. It's just when you discover that somebody's actually bad to you, then you gotta disentangle. And sometimes even after you've, for instance, gotten a divorce, or you've technically left the relationship, it can be hard to finally feel completely disconnected, because we're not just physical beings. We're not just mental beings. We are spiritual beings, first and foremost. And in order to disconnect from people who are bad to you, you have to do so spiritually. And there's lots of techniques for that, and I teach them. Something you can try really easily, and there's a video on my YouTube page for it, and on my website, peacockandpaisley.com, and you can find me on YouTube under, just type in Peacock and Paisley and Heather Kate. Do the cord cutting. Wait a little bit, see how you feel. Okay, do the cord cutting, you'll probably feel better immediately, and then wait and see who shows back up into your life. So even if somebody that you haven't talked with in years might pop back in, whether they send you a DM, or they text you, or they call, or they're on your doorstep, or God forbid, whatever. That is something to help you realize that the cord cutting worked, because what they're doing is they're trying to reconnect that cord. And what does that cord do for them? It is like having a constant, it's like literally like an electrical cord that plugs into you and plugs into them. But a good healthy relationship, the energy will go both ways. In an unhealthy relationship, it is the bad person just sucking you dry. They're like a vampire. It's kind of like putting a hose into your gas tank. Why do they do this? Because they're not able to connect with the divine source, whatever you want to call it. And they are essentially, they're cut off. They misbehaved. They chose. Literally, they chose to be this way. And they choose it on a daily basis, over and over and over again. The divine can forgive and help heal, but it's that person's choice that keeps them doing this. It is not because they were hurt, although a lot of narcissists were hurt when they were young, badly. But it is a constant choice. So what you gotta do is actually learn a little skill from them to use it in a good way for yourself. be a little bit selfish in a sense. It may feel like you're being selfish, and take care of yourself, because the divine will refill your energy. You just have to seal up the leaks so that your pitcher isn't just dumping the water as soon as it comes in. There is a living fountain inside you that is you and the divine and you. We are like, that's a topic for another video, but make sure that you're not leaking energy. So try the cord cutting video, and you can do it silently. You can do it anytime. You can do it anywhere. You don't need any tools, like exterior tools. You don't need any physical tools. Like, you don't need sage. It helps a lot, but you don't need it. You don't need to take like a hot salt bath, but that does help. But you don't need it in order to do a cord cutting. And the only thing that you really need is your desire to remove any and all inappropriate cords and connections. And then there's some other things that you can throw in there, like vows and promises, contracts, blah blah blah, because we do make spiritual contracts, both when we're here in person and when we're on the other side. And if somebody's violating you, then it's time. Yes, what comes after that is usually grief, if you really loved that person, and chances are you hung on to them because you loved them. There may be other reasons too, like you finally felt like you were in the relationship you wanted to have. It's part of a community that meant a whole lot to you. It could be your family, but you can do this. And we are all separating out from unhealthy relationships, and those that are on the love and light team are going a different direction than the dark team. And it's time. The time is now. Now is the time. So get in touch with me. Check out some of the resources on my website. Links are probably in the comments or section somewhere. And the name of the website is peacockandpaisley.com, like the fancy bird, and the really cool pattern. It's all about love, life, light, prosperity, abundance. So see you soon. Tell me what's going on for you, what you have questions about, if you have had experiences with cutting cords, and if it worked, if it didn't work. If you have questions about doing it and how to do it, let me know. And if you want more support, that is what I'm here for. I have a couple of different approaches, but I like to customize each package for each person because everybody's individual. So what you need is unique to you. All right. Many blessings. Heather Kate, spiritual coach for the creative soul at peacockandpaisley.com. Peace.